Hi, I'm Camilla.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And welcome to You're Gonna Be Fine, the podcast that reminds you that no matter where you are in your journey, you're exactly where you need to be.
In each episode, we'll explore tools, tips, theories, and stories that will help you learn, heal, and grow. And remember that even on the tough days, you're going to be fine.
Whether you're navigating life's big changes, trying to build healthier habits, or just looking for a little inspiration, this show is here to remind you that you've got everything you need within you.
So wherever you are, take a deep breath, relax, and remember, you're going to be fine.
Just a quick heads up, we're not certified therapists or doctors, just regular gals sharing insights and tips from personal experience.
So if you're dealing with something serious, please speak to a professional because at the end of the day, they are the experts, not us. And with that being said, enjoy the episode. Hello.
Hi there. God, you caught me by surprise, even though we're literally in a podcast studio. I was like, why are we here? Oh, yes. So, welcome, everyone. I've got it in my head. I'm like, in my head, fuck up, so that I don't forget, to talk about the fuck up of the week.
I feel like we've already renamed it because it was fuck of the week, but fuck up of the week, actually, it rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, fuck
I
up
like
of the
that.
week.
Okay, already. We're growing, we're changing.
Yeah, we're
It's all
evolving.
good. The fuck up of the week.
Yeah.
So, go on, hit me with it. What was it?
So my fuck up / oh fuck moment this week was when I realised I'd entered my first ever Hyrox competition. Very exciting. However, I did not read the small print. Always read the small print. So I've entered the mixed doubles category. Yeah. And mixed doubles, you have to use the men's weights.
Oh,
and I literally, like, my weights are like earbuds. They're so light. Like, literally, I do not lift heavy weights. So the Hyrox is tomorrow. I found this information out literally like 7 days ago about the weight. So I've had 7 days to be in Hulk mode.
And has it been hard? Like, are they much heavier? I was going to say, what is the difference? Like, is it quite a lot?
It's pretty much double the female weight.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
It is a lot. And that really was an oh fuck / fuck up moment. Because I was just like, for
fuck's sake.
Yeah, fuck's sake moment. Because I just was like, I really want to enjoy the event and not get injured.
Have you done a Hyrox before?
No, this is my debut.
What? I feel like you have.
I do the classes.
Oh, right.
But classes, like, are very different.
It's not the same as the real thing.
So, yeah, that was the real oh fuck moment. But as with anything, I've said it out loud. I'm being accountable. So I am competing and doing it. And I'm going to just do the males weights and I'll just have to get through it. And that's the aim. And I'm not putting pressure on myself to put a time on it because I just want to finish it. Because obviously
finish it and enjoy it. Like, it's supposed to be fun, surely.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you're not going in there as like a Hyrox athlete. I know, like, Hyrox is all the rage at the moment, isn't it? And people take it very seriously and it is extremely difficult, but just try and like enjoy it. But I don't know. You say that sat here now with your no shoes on, chilling.
I know.
And your trackies, like, I'm not even bothered about time. You get in there, you're like, go.
I know. I'm doing it with my cousin as well, which is quite cute.
I thought you did it with Sam.
No, I was doing it with my dad and then he can't do it anymore. So then I drafted in my young cousin who, poor boy, has never done a Hyrox class in his life. So we've been to one during the week. And but he's just like said yes, figure out how to do it later, which I just love. So we're doing it tomorrow. So by the time this comes out, we'll know the time. Or maybe not, because I might not post the time because I just want to finish it. So yeah, what was your oh fuck / fuck up / fuck sake
of the week?
Yeah.
So within Your Sober Glow, which is my business, we have a book club where every week we read a book on sobriety and or self-development. And I read the wrong book. I can't believe it, right? Because I'm the one that organises the book club, obviously. I chose the book.
Yeah.
And then what was weird is that I was posting about the book that we should have all read and then read a different one. And I was like, wait, what? And then it got to the day of the book club and I ran downstairs. I was like, James, I've got book club. And I've rang the wrong book. I've read the wrong book. And he was like, get on ChatGPT and just do the summary points. And I was like,
Genius.
No. And then I remembered, though, to be fair, I have actually read the book that we were reading for book club
Ages
3
ago.
times. I've read it 3 times over the course of my sobriety.
No wonder you didn't want to read it again.
Well, I know.
Bored
I should have
stiff.
picked another book. I don't even know why I did that. I think it's because I knew that it was a good one. So I was just like, that would be a good one to do. And then I read...
What was the book, sorry?
It's called The Sober Diaries.
Oh,
yeah, which is good by Claire Pooley. But anyway, book club was very good, and I just winged it. I didn't tell them on the call, which I don't know why. I don't know. The call started, and I was like, right, let's go. So I don't know why I didn't.
I don't think we need to address all our I mean, here we are addressing it to literally, well, probably 3 listeners because this is our first few episodes. But
thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah,
all 3 of you. My mum, your mum,
yeah, your dad. Yeah. I don't know whether my family, anyone else would listen. But yeah, this is another fuck up that I just remembered, and I wanted to tell you this. But now, literally, our whole friendship consists around the fact that we go to tell a funny story, and we're like, no, wait, save that for the podcast.
Yeah, talk.
We're literally just in silence now when we meet up.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to overcome that.
I don't know.
Because we want to keep the stories fresh for the pod.
Yeah.
Like, we want to keep them like live reactions.
Yeah, we don't want to be forced
when
or
something
scripted.
Funny, yeah, or like have to like pretend like, oh, I've not heard that before. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Because we're like, I can't imagine that we'd be very good at actors.
I've got a terrible, terrible poker face.
I thought you were going to say I've got a terrible, terrible story. And I was like, spill.
No, spill.
Okay, no.
So, yeah, you haven't heard this story before.
Sorry, my Stanley nearly fell.
That's all right. Protect the Stanley at all costs.
My man, Stan.
So, my mum, honestly, she is a walking, talking fuck up. Not when it comes to like career and all that. She has got shit together, but she's like very ditzy. And I just love this story. So basically, her oh fuck would have been if she was on this podcast, which would be her worst nightmare, by the way. So let's never invite her. She'd hate it. She used to be part of Pony Club. My sister used to be part of Pony Club, which makes her sound very like, Pony Club equestrians. But can I just stress that the pony that we had, it was a rescue pony, because that's just my whole childhood, just adopting strays. So it was like everyone else's pony was like this like plaited, like, you know, gorgeous like horse. Ours was like a donkey from Blackpool, basically. It was so cute. But mum basically was attending this pony school, like it was like basically an event. It was a competition, and my sister and her, so my sister was competing. They had the horse box attached to the trailer that we'd rented. Anyway, they turn up to the horse show, which is like half an hour down the road from our house, and mum gets there and she's like, where's the horse? Where's the pony? She thinks it's come off on the M65, like on the drive over. I shit you not. She calls my dad. She's like, Neil, is Wiz on the drive? Is Wiz on the horse box? In the horse box on the drive. She's like, oh yeah, she's just like chilling on the car park.
So
like,
wait. So she didn't forget the horse. She forgot the actual horse box.
She forgot the horse box with the horse in the box. Yes.
And she thought that it had undone itself.
Yeah, on the motorway. Exactly. But it just goes to show how much she checks her bloody mirrors.
I was going to say.
Do you know what I mean? She's driven half an hour. So she goes to a horse competition and forgets the horse. And that is the ultimate oh fuck, surely.
Yeah, that's
they missed the competition. Mum had to go back and get the pony and bring it back to the event, but they'd missed it anyway. And anyway, on the tannoy, they were like, Maddie Ainsworth due on Wiz. And mum was like, oh no, the horse is still at home. And I was like, oh my God. But it reminded me because she did a Facebook status about it. Facebook, of course she did. Facebook.
Classic.
A status about it the other day, and I thought, oh, that was my favourite all-time oh fuck moment.
Yeah,
and we never let her forget it.
I was going to say, good. Yeah, you can't ever let her forget that as well.
So good.
Speaking of women,
yes,
in your life, it will be
International Women's Day.
What day is it?
On Saturday.
Sorry, yeah, 8th of March.
Yeah,
Saturday 8th of March is International Women's Day. And so we wanted to theme our episode today around that. Because I feel like it is an important day. I feel like it's sort of not come out of nowhere. I don't actually know the established date of International Women's Day.
No, I don't.
But I feel like it's very prominent in recent years because I feel like, I don't know, 10 years ago, like I didn't even, when I was at uni, I didn't even know what it was. And then I feel like it's been spoken a lot very recently, which is great. It's all about celebrating women's achievements and gender equality. And I think you obviously at this time of year, and rightly so, people do talk about it a lot and there's a lot of content around it. But we wanted to speak to you and share with you some women that have done amazing, crazy things for the world in lots of different avenues, like some for the sisterhood and tech and business and things like that, that you probably wouldn't have heard of and who have probably been a little bit overlooked.
100%. Their PR teams have not been as strong as the Florence Nightingales of the world.
Yes.
So we're trying to fly the flag for these underdogs that have actually, you know, really paved the way for a lot of incredible change. So I'll kick off.
Yeah.
I think we've got 4, haven't we? Which I just love. And if you have heard of them, great. If you haven't, even better, because we're just shining a light on them. We actually, when we were thinking of topics to do for this podcast, remember we were talking about like, let's do one for International Women's Day, because it reminded me there was an article that ran and it was like top the 5 most inspiring women from Blackburn. It was in the Lancashire Telegraph. 4 of them were dead. I was the only. There was like one and one other.
And Camilla was one of them.
I was
which
one
is
of
amazing.
Them.
She was the only one that was alive.
Yeah, but still, I love that. I think I was bringing up the rear at number 5, but still putting Blackburn on the map, which I just love. And
really good claim to fame.
It was really funny, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we were like, oh, that is hilarious.
Blackburn's most influential women.
Here.
Proud. Put that in your bio.
I know, I might
Once
actually.
Millie does Killies over, stick that in your bio.
There's a space.
Fantastic.
So the first one that I wanted to shine a light on is, and I absolutely love, because I'm a history geek. Like I have been to watch Six, the musical, which is based on the Tudors.
Yeah.
I've been to watch it 6 times, ironically. So I've been to see six times. Absolutely love history. I remember I was once in a club, actually, just a quick little tangent. And this guy came over to me and he was like, oh, like, what are your interests? And I was like, the Tudors. Anyway, next thing you know, he's like, I'm going to the toilet, never return.
Seen again.
I was
never
like,
to be seen again.
Where are my Tudor-loving Huns? Where are the historians?
Yeah, I feel like that one is a niche one.
It is.
Even somebody who loves history wouldn't necessarily say the Tudors, to be fair.
No.
So you'd say like Victorians or Romans, you know.
I also said
Tudors
it as well, though, like for a bit of a reaction, because I was just a bit bored on the night, because I'm not a night out girly, am I? So I just was like, right, I want to cause a stir here. Well, there was no stir caused because he left.
By talking about history.
And then, it's definitely a floor clearer, that's for sure. So anyway, back to my gal Mary, who I'm about to speak about now.
Yeah, this is mad.
This is my favourite one because I've watched a lovely documentary. It's like a 3-part series, and it's the story of Mary Bryant, which I feel like no one will have heard of Mary Bryant unless you're my mum, dad, sister, and Lauren.
And me.
Lauren, yeah, you've heard about it. Sam's heard about it because I'm like, Mary Bryant. She was basically, in the 1700s, she was one of the first women convicts to be shipped over to Australia because she'd stolen a loaf of bread to survive. Like there was extreme poverty in Cornwall at the time. So they were shipped over to Australia, and Australia at the time, it was a complete barren land. Like you couldn't survive there. People were starving. She had 2 young children to raise. And she said, I'm either going to like stay here with my kids and we're going to starve and I'm going to have to watch them die, or I'm going to have to take a bit of a risk here and I'm going to try and escape the colony and sail back to the UK. So she was the only woman in the boat. She had young children. The men were absolutely useless. Shock, no jokes. They were useless. Everyone was absolutely starved because it was like months and months of journey. She ended up just roping. So she tied rope around her hand, around the boat to steer, and they all just passed out from famine and hunger. And eventually they rocked up on the coast of the UK, and she literally got them there. Like, it was just an amazing story of like how a woman, against all the odds, like, you know, made these men got them to safety, and her children, unfortunately, they didn't make the journey. And it was so utterly sad. But when they got there, you know, she was supposed to be arrested again and all of that, and they did get arrested. And then eventually they set them free because, which was
I
actually
didn't know that part.
Yeah, they set them
I didn't
free.
know she went with a family. I thought she went on her own. I didn't know she had a family.
No, she had a family.
That's
she had young
more.
kids,
Yeah, wow.
young kids, and there was like 2 guys in the boat as well, and they survived.
Yeah.
And it was
I
just
wonder how long it took.
Months and months.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, and it's just the most amazing story of just like grit, determination, and like
and love. She'd have done that for the love of her family and the love of her children,
and just that grit and tenacity that I just think you've just got, like. And I just think, like, even to this day, like, I've never watched anything as good. Like, it's on Amazon. It was ages ago. I think I was only probably like, I think so. No, it was on DVD.
Oh, it was that long ago?
It was on DVD.
Well, that just shows how much it stuck with you, because it must have been amazing.
But I'm sure you can watch it on Prime. I really do implore you to watch it, because it's like I've never felt more motivated than after watching Mary Bryant. And, you know, she's done epic shit there, and she was literally the first female to escape. So, like, what an accolade, and what a testament to the female.
What a woman.
Sisterhood.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Amazing. No, my one was a woman called Hedy Lamarr.
Great.
And she was a beautiful American Hollywood actress, I think in the 1914-ish.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but around that time-ish.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And she was, a beautiful Hollywood actress. And so because she was actually coined the most beautiful actress in Hollywood at the time. And she got sort of overlooked because she was so beautiful. She got overlooked within the fact that she actually co-created Wi-Fi.
Wow.
So she created something called, again, don't quote me on this, I think it's FHSS or something, and it's basically the precursor to Wi-Fi. So it was like a tapping system that created a code that couldn't be disrupted.
Wow.
I'm no tech whiz, so please forgive me if that's way off. But that's kind of the idea. Yeah. She helped create that. But the reason why I thought that was so incredible is the fact that because she was stunning and famous actress, her brains were sort of overlooked because of her beauty. So she was beauty and brains, and I feel like that was sort of the brain side was overlooked.
Yeah, and there's
because she was
this
so beautiful.
stigma as well that you can't have brains and beauty. Like, why not? Like, you can literally have it all.
Yeah.
But like, it's one or the other. No, she's the prime example of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great.
What a
Heedy. Yeah, and I've never heard of her, so that's really good.
I'd never heard of her either. I thought that was really, really good. And she really was so beautiful.
Was she? I need to have a Google of her.
Yeah.
Great. Love her.
But the guy who actually created Wi-Fi, I can't remember his name now, but was a man.
You've overlooked him.
Yeah, but he was a man. And so it's just like, he gets all the glory for Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And actually she didn't actually create Wi-Fi, but without what she discovered, Wi-Fi would not be a thing. She was integral to creating that precursor of the creation of Wi-Fi. So I thought that was really interesting. Yeah.
Amazing. My third, so it is another good film that I've watched many, many a time, and it's called Gorillas in the Mist, the film, and it's centered around Diane Fossey, who was an absolutely incredible powerhouse. Now, she actually helped claw back the gorilla population from near extinction, and she was just like, she did not give a fuck. Like, she just cared for these animals so deeply, and she just moved her whole life to live in the rainforest with the gorillas, basically. And she was a woman. She was literally the only woman that was like actually doing things to help these.
Didn't she live there like on her own?
She lived there
in
on her
jungle,
own.
On her own.
Yep.
Crazy.
And she did incredible
That would have been so
work.
Dangerous as well,
Well, it was what killed her. She literally got killed by poachers because they were. She was obviously disrupting them from getting loads of money from gorilla hands and just awful. But without her, the gorillas would have really suffered a lot more in terms of numbers. She brought them back, and she did so much research that's integral to us knowing what we know about the gorgeous animals now. And I feel like obviously it's great to recognise people in business, great to recognise people that have done things that are a little bit out of the norm, but like for animals and conservation, like can't think of anyone else. And like David Attenborough, he's great, but like Diane Fossey, like just an incredible powerhouse woman. And I just think putting yourself in danger and like foregoing, the traditional life for a greater cause, and like her maternal instinct for these gorillas, you can see it in the film, and it's a really good film to watch, very motivating, just like going after what she wants. And
it's the passion.
Yeah.
It's having so much passion that has driven her to live in a jungle by herself.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine it.
No, like, I know. Surrounded by men as well. And she had to really stand her ground and like show them who was boss. And and I just
Which I feel like you still have now. Like a lot of industries are very male dominated. Yeah. Not all, but a lot of them are. And so to be like that, really dominant in a male dominated sort of world is really inspiring. And do you know when that was?
Oh, don't quote me.
Sorry.
I think it was...
But it's before like David Attenborough.
Yes. Yeah.
Right,
so
that's what I was just going to... That's what I was just going to say, is that she probably influenced, greater works later on.
100%.
Yeah.
And she just is just so inspiring to me, and I love that. And although all these women that we've spoken about are completely different, I know you've got one more, but like they've all got one thing in common. They were absolutely hell-bent on achieving what they wanted to set out to achieve, and they didn't have fear, and they knew deep down that they were going to be fine in those varying environments, which I love.
Yeah.
Who's your last one?
So my last one is a woman called Alice Ball.
Great.
And she was the first African-American woman to graduate from Hawaii University with a chemistry degree. And with that chemistry degree, she discovered something called the Ball method after Alice Ball, which was a treatment where she got an oil. I can't remember the name of the oil now, but basically she chemically manipulated this oil to make it into a water-based solution, to make it injectable to cure leprosy. Wow. And it saved thousands of people's lives. But what is so heartbreaking about this story is that Alice Ball herself, she was only 23 when she discovered this, and she died at 24 before the main sort of body of the works came out. So she never got any of the glory for it because it takes time. Obviously, they've got to run the tests, and obviously with scientific experiments and stuff like that and medical testing, it takes a while for them to configure the information. So she actually died because she inhaled chlorine gas in the lab. So she died. What she loved killed her in a way because she was doing it in the lab, chemistry, doing everything she was really passionate about. But it was just so sad because she died so soon after her discovery. She never got any of the glory for it. So here we are talking about her today in memory. The flag. And it said as well, like, she was really integral to obviously the later adaptations of how to cure, disease like leprosy.
Wow, that's incredible.
And at only 23.
Wow,
insane,
that is incredible.
Yeah,
I've just got one more curveball one that I've literally just thought
wild card.
of. Yeah, the wild card one, and it's actually my great grandma, and I love this story. And I feel like it's been 5 years since she died, and she was actually in the newspaper when she died because she is one of the last remaining survivors of this. What I'm going to reveal that she was part of, which I find super inspiring. So basically, throughout the war, so World War II, she actually was at Bletchley Park with Alan Turing, the Imitation Game, and she was cracking German code.
Wow.
And she helped eventually win the war. Without Bletchley Park, it was a massive piece in why we won World War II. And what I find so inspiring about this is that you weren't allowed to tell anyone what you were doing because it was under the Secrets Act. I don't know why I'm doing it like that. It was the Secrets Act. I'm like, oh, the Secrets Act. No, it was the Secrets Act. And you weren't allowed to talk about it for 50 years.
Wow.
So her mum and dad thought she was an office clerk, that she had to say to them that she was an office clerk. And really, she was at Bletchley Park cracking German code, like the Enigma code with Alan Turing. And, she was only allowed to speak about it for 50 years after, which is just crazy. And I just think, like, wow, to have like participated in that and like being around like utter chaos and just being thrown into the deep end. I think that is very, very inspiring.
And did she talk about it after 50 years?
Yes.
Oh my God,
you couldn't stop
You'd be
talking
watching
about
the clock,
it, thank God.
Wouldn't you? You'd be counting down and be like,
she's done loads of talks.
I did this.
Yeah, she's done loads of talks,
amazing.
and I'm so proud.
You must be so proud.
I am, and I just think, wow.
She was proud.
She was so proud, and so she should be. And she said it was quite funny because when it was like Christmas, the Germans would like tap in the code like "Merry Christmas," like because they knew people were listening.
Of course.
And she spoke fluent German, and but like just knowing. Like she got no glory, and she knew she wasn't going to get glory because it was under the Secrets Act, but still wanting to make a difference and change the trajectory of life for everyone else, and knowing that you're not getting glory and still doing it. I just think that is awe-inspiring.
I think people who do mega things though, they're not doing it for the glory.
No.
I think if you do things for the glory, you can see straight through that you're doing it for the glory rather than doing it for your genuine passion or purpose or making an actual difference and stuff like that. And that's why these people probably wanted to fly under the radar. Like, they're not looking for fame. No. They're doing it because they actually want to make a difference in the world, which is so inspiring.
And just like down tools on everything else.
Very stressful.
Yeah, followed her dreams.
I can barely hold a wee, never mind a secret like that. Jesus.
I know. We'd be a nightmare. I'd be like, don't say anything, don't say anything. I've been cracking the German code. Literally. Oh my God. It is all those like, I mean, I'm a TikTok dinosaur. I don't know how to really use TikTok. Hopefully I will get better at it for the purpose of this podcast. But there's all of those like, if women were at war today, like what we'd be like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she was just built differently, and I just love that she deserves to be spoken about this International Women's Day for sure.
Oh, I'm really glad you said that one.
Thank you. Really, and you've not heard that one, have you?
No, I've never ever heard that. It's really, really interesting, and actually explains a lot about you.
Really?
I feel like it's all like you do, whether you like it or not, end up like your mother, your grandmother. It's like hereditary. It's your lineage. It's your, you know, all your generations. And I feel like you definitely carry some of her personality traits.
I love that. She actually came to my school and did a talk, and it was hilarious because God bless her. She literally came into school, did a talk, and it ended up just being about how, like, throughout the war, like, they'd creep into each other's tents and, like, have sex. And it was like, I was in, like, year 7, and I was like, oh, I was like, Gran. No.
So
like, it was so funny. I was like, oh,
back
to the war.
Yeah.
Because all my friends were like, ha, your great gran loves to talk about sex. And I'd be like, no, she helped crack the code. Let's go back to that bit. But she was just so, like, progressive, and which I loved.
Liberal,
but
open,
equally, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Read the room.
Yeah, God, I just love her so much. But
I think like older people are a bit like that though, aren't they? They just say like whatever. They just stop giving
inspiring.
a fuck, don't they?
And I was saying this the other day, like there's that beautiful period where when you're young and you know, like you're in your childlike state, and then you're old, you do not give a fuck when you're young and when you're old. It's this middle period where you really do care about other people's opinions. And I actually feel like, you know, I want to go back to, and I have a little bit, but back to when you were younger and you just said what you thought and did what you wanted to do within reason. But
there's that thing that says the only two people that you should be caring about their opinion is your younger self and your old self.
Love that.
You should be making your younger self and your older self proud, and anything in between, like project and then think back to when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
Yeah. When I was like having a really hard time, I used to look at my like pictures of me when I was a baby. Like not baby, like toddler. Because I used to think like, I'm doing it for you, you know, like my younger self.
That's I love that. That's really nice.
And it does kind of kick you back into like the reality of not caring what other people think and just getting on with what you want to do. And that's the premise behind what all those women did. They just wanted to do what they wanted to do and got on with it. And
wasted no time.
Yeah, wasted no time.
Dr. Zeus quote that I love, and I'll probably fumble it, but it's something, it goes along these lines. It says, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter.
Yeah,
Is that right?
I was like holding every word. I was like,
did I get it?
Yeah, you got it.
Those
That's
who
right.
matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, and I just love that because it's so true. It's just like, those people that love you and whatever, like they don't care. And the people that care about you doing X, Y, and Z don't actually matter. So
yeah. I think you learn that as you get like older as well. Obviously, we're both 30 this year, the big 3-0.
29.
Crazy. And it feels fitting actually because it is International Women's Day, and I feel like you turn 30. Are we women now?
I believe
are we no
so.
Longer girls?
I identify as a woman.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're grown now. Like we need to be. Yeah, God, I don't know. Sometimes I still feel exactly the same as when I was 18. And then other times I think, who was that?
I feel like because I live in a bungalow now, I feel like I'm like 82. And I live the life of an 82-year-old in that I go to the cinema and tell people to be quiet. Like if anyone's talking, I'm like,
bed by 9.
Shh. Yeah, bed by 9.
Don't like loud noises in general. Yeah. Just anything loud is irritating.
We both like get really excited over the same, like, you know, like, please leave by 9 p.m. We were looking at cushions. We were looking at everything.
Live, laugh, leave by 9 p.m.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Well, what's that Ed Sheeran? It's like, nothing good happens after 12. It's a song lyric. I'm like, honey, Ed, nothing good happens after 9. Like, petition for a rebrand of that song, please. So yeah, I think, how old do you feel like right now? Like,
oh God, I don't know. It depends in what sense. I feel like I'm so much wiser now. I have so much to learn, obviously, but I do feel like if I was to look back at my 20-year-old self, I mean, it's just like a completely different person.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the way you view the world, and when you've gone through a bit of gained some battle scars from your 20s, which I definitely have, you perceive things differently. So my outlook on the world is probably more wiser, older. Sometimes people comment on my TikToks and stuff and they're like, you're old beyond your years, or like wise beyond your years.
I love that.
And I'm like, that's because I just listen to everything that I've been taught by older people, like what we were saying on the episode previous. Like last week is about, you know, learning from other people and stuff like that. But from like energy wise and like excitement, I feel 20. And I don't think that goes away. Like I've spoken to my dad about this before, and he's like, even like the other night we went out and I said, he said, something, this old guy. And I went, oh, how old is he? And he laughed. He went, oh God, he's actually my age. Like, and I'm saying that he's an old guy, but actually I'm old. But my dad does not view himself as an old person because in his mind he's so young.
Yeah.
So I think you get to decide how old you feel.
Yeah, and I think it differs day to day. Like, ask me how old I felt after doing the Hyrox simulation last week. I felt 93 and like a piece of cardboard, like I've been dropped from a 12-story building. But I think 29 as well. You know, everyone's like, oh, you're going to have an existential crisis. You're going to be like kids, this. Like, everyone's like, who am I? And I really have not felt that. I just feel like, you know, I just love that, you know, you can choose to go down that life if you want, like motherhood and all of that stuff. But there's just, for me, I just still feel, you know, it would be a teenage pregnancy. Facts. It 100% would be. Like, I would expect, if I was to announce that I was having a baby, I feel like my mum and dad would be like, oh,
is it April 1st?
Yeah.
It's a fool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's April Fool's Day.
So I don't know, but I definitely haven't got that like, oh, I'm, you know, touching 30.
It's a size, blah, 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 put your teeth back in. It's a society.
And again.
Oh my God.
Go again.
Stop.
Shall I say it?
Katie.
Societal.
Thank you. It's a societal pressure is what I was going to say. And I feel like you don't succumb to societal pressure at all. So that's probably why you don't feel that. But maybe some listeners do feel that they are approaching 30. Maybe, you know, we're slightly different as well in that not all of our peers are having babies and getting married. No. A lot of people do have an experience where all of their friends are getting married and having babies, and therefore you do feel like, oh, am I falling behind?
Yeah.
And I felt like that even like in my mid-20s. Everyone was living on their own or living with partners, and I was single living at my mum and dad's. And I was like, again, like, fucking hell, they call me the boomerang. We'll just keep going back and forth. It's a joke. I was like, hello, take me back. Me again. I'm like, hello, darkness, my old friend. They're like, fuck off.
Yeah, go away.
No, they love it. I'm like, we're the 3 best friends that anyone can have. So yeah, but I did feel obviously like it was mega living with them because as you know, they're like my friends. But I did feel that like, oh, like that pull that I need to just like do something that everyone else was doing. And I actually did succumb to it, to be fair. And I did actually end up moving out and living alone, which again was a great chapter and I'm really, really glad that I did that. But I do relate to that feeling of like, or not with motherhood so much. Like I do want children and whatnot, not right now, but I don't feel the pressure right now. But I think that's because everyone around me isn't. I think if everybody had a baby around you, probably
and
would
a
feel
lot of
like,
people's friendship groups, like you said, there is, you know, at that age, 29, 30, people are settled down, they've got partners, and that can be very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, when I was single for the first time in 7 years, everyone was in relationships, and that's a really difficult thing to go through. And, you know, that was like, I didn't really know how to navigate it at all, because the one thing that actually really helped was the book. She's written The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober as well, but The Unexpected Joy of Being Single.
Oh, Catherine. She's amazing. Catherine Gray. What an author.
Yeah, I really wish.
What a woman.
Yeah.
For International Women's Day.
But I really wish that the title of the book, Catherine, was different.
Just for some positive feedback. I mean, constructive feedback.
Yeah, just a little bit of feedback, because it's like The Unexpected Joy of Being Single. And it's just like, it was kind of not like, it wasn't all about like being single. It was just about being okay on your own. So I would like really recommend that as a book recommendation to anyone that's, you know, maybe feeling the pressure. Because I definitely probably would have been a victim of feeling that societal pressure had I not like read the books and you know, done the work. But yeah, it's a very, very good book, and I think just being okay with being on your own and surrounding yourself with maybe like, if you've not got any single friends, like again, start like looking around and like going to, you know, run clubs. There's so many ways to like
run clubs are like the new clubs.
The new dating.
Honestly, the new dating apps. Yeah,
I think Hyrox is a bit like that. That's why I was a little bit like hesitant to, because it's like, you know, I mean, this is coming from the girl that I was literally with my friend when we did the half marathon. It was like, what are you wearing? Like, what's I was like, getting my hair done.
This was the funniest thing ever. So Camilla was running. I can't remember if it was the half or the full now.
I can't remember.
But she was like, yeah. So I'm doing the run and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, right. What time does it start? And just chatting about the running, no pun intended, the running order for the day. And then she was like, yeah. So I'm just getting my hair done. And I was like, oh, right, what? And I thought I assumed she must have meant like a colour or something, a colour and cut. And she was like, yeah, I'm getting a slick back ponytail for the run. And I said, when? On the morning? She was like, well, no, the woman didn't have any slots. So I'm getting it done the night before and going to sleep for 9 hours with a slick back ponytail. And then run a marathon.
Yeah.
You must have been running the marathon with a migraine. Like, I don't understand.
It's free Botox. Look at my face right now. I've had this done as well. But there's something about like, this is my life hack, the ponytail. Like when I've got the pony, I genuinely feel like the game is elevated. You know how some people put on a suit? I have the slick back and suddenly I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Suddenly I can like address a room and like suddenly I can run a marathon. It's something in my head. Well, I mean, don't make me laugh. Whenever you laugh, like, you make me laugh, I'm like, ha, 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 ha. Like my face isn't actually, my face isn't actually moving at all. But yeah, I just think it's the ponytail effect. Yeah. So yeah, I think I've gone massive.
I can't remember why we were talking about that now. I've completely lost.
But let's go into what our 20s have maybe taught us, or like what the last few years have taught us about like womanhood, or just
becoming
in general.
A woman, the sisterhood.
And I think the first one, naturally, it has to be about like just ignoring extrinsic pressures. Like just like your timelines. There is no timeline for when you should, start your own business, if you should at all. Like there's nothing to say you need to do that, and that's what success looks like.
Well,
having
that's
your
it.
own
Like
business.
hustle culture now and social media makes it look like it's not
glamorous.
If you're not, it's really not. If you're not working. Sorry, if you are working a 9 to 5, you're doing it wrong, and it's just not true. And as somebody who quite recently left the 9 to 5, I guess, although it was actually more an 8-7 because it's recruitment. If you know, you know. But I really felt like as I've said so many times, you don't dream about the cons, and going self-employed is not for everyone. And I have really, really struggled with the adjustment into being self-employed. And I kind of think there wasn't so much a pressure. I wanted to do it because I wanted to do it for me. It's not that I felt like, oh, everyone else is doing it, so I want to do it. It was because I wanted to turn my passion into my profession, and I'm so grateful I've done that.
It made sense.
Yeah, and I'm so glad now because it obviously has made me really happy. But yeah, I never did it because other people were doing it as such. It was because it was something on my own bucket list.
Yeah.
Whereas I think sometimes people can make decisions because social media's their algorithm is telling them to do something.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not what you actually want to do. Like, what do you want? And that is one of the biggest. It's such a hard question though, because sometimes you think you want one thing because you've been told you want it for so long.
And there's a book that I love that I've read, and it's called Wanting, and it's based on how to know what you actually want when you take away all the extrinsic models like around you. And by models, I mean like people that you are like, your peers or people that you respect. Because on social media, like you said, it's an echo chamber. Everyone's doing the same thing, and it's like go against the status quo and actually identifying what it is that you want. And that's why I'm a big believer in like, silences to an extent, where you're just sitting and being, because that's when you decide what you actually want to do and how you're feeling and like which way and direction you should go in. But yeah, it's definitely like exercising a muscle. The more you do it and the more you decide what you actually want, the more it becomes obvious like what you want.
I feel like knowing what you want though, it's more of a feeling than a knowing. Like you feel it in your body when something is right or wrong.
Yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah, whereas if you just see something, you're like, oh, I'll do that because they're doing that. You don't feel it inside you.
Yeah.
Because often the feeling is actually like uncomfortable, like leaving your job or whatever, or leaving a relationship. That's a really big one. Like if all of your friends around you are settling down, and in your heart of hearts, you kind of know that you're not in the right relationship, but you feel like you should settle down because everyone else is, that's going to ruin your life, or at least the next 5 to 10 years of it. So yeah, I think a lot of it is about, obviously I'm sure there are tools and things. And when I was in that state, I was always on Google. How do I figure out what I want? Search.
Yeah. Let me do a quiz on that.
Yeah. Like a BuzzFeed quiz, like what croissant are you? But life choices.
Genre of cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually did that quiz the other day when I was like trying to do my masterclass slides, and I was like, what cheese am I?
What were you?
I think I was Gouda. Oh. How random.
What would I be?
You would probably be camembert. It's like Everyone loves camembert. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
You couldn't not.
I'm dairy intolerant, so I could never. But.
I could never cheat on the intolerant sisters. But yeah, I think Wanting is a great book if you want to know whether you're just doing things because other people are convincing you that you want to do them.
Or if you actually want to do them.
And that's like something that I've definitely 100% learned in the last like decade, how to know what I want. And I don't do anything that I don't want to do, which actually sometimes it's almost a blessing and a curse when you start to know and really be in tune with what you want and what you don't want, because it makes me a little bit inflexible. And this is me being quite self-aware, but it just means that if I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it. So that can sometimes be like misconstrued as like me being selfish, but it's like, well, there's no point me being there and ruining the mood if I don't want to do that. If it's like going out for a meal and then we're going out to the club afterwards, it's like, no, like I don't want to do that. Even though it's your birthday, I've come to the meal, I've given you my presents, we're doing something separately. I don't want to go to the club. So it's like, oh, like she's being boring, da da da. It's like, well, no, because I'd be no use to anyone in the club.
Yeah.
We'd be talking about the Tudors in the corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might lose people along the way and that's completely fine. But yeah, I think that was a really good combined tip that we've got about, knowing what you want and separating from echo chambers and your actual desires. What's something else?
Yeah, no, that's definitely the biggest one, I would say. It's something that it's a skill, isn't it? That you hone over a decade, like you say, because I'm literally exactly the same. But yeah, with that being said, I feel like we'll wrap this one up there, because I think that is definitely the biggest
takeaway.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing that if you're wondering what you should be doing and focusing on in these primitive years, then it should be that. Yeah.